The town of Hollow Creek was shrouded in silence. Forgotten by time, it lay nestled amidst rolling hills and whispering willows. Emily, a solitary child of 8, lived with her parents in a creaky Victorian house at the edge of town. Her world was small, filled with the scent of old books and the hushed whispers of the wind. Emily yearned for companionship. Her only solace, the imaginary friends she conjured from the swirling dust motes in the sunbeams. She longed for someone to share her secrets with, someone who understood her quiet heart. Little did she know her wish was about to be granted, but not in the way she could have ever imagined. Emily's 8th birthday dawned like any other, grey and unremarkable. Her parents, their faces etched with a weary sadness, presented her with a gift, a beautifully wrapped box tied with a faded pink ribbon. Inside, nestled in tissue paper, lay a doll. It was not the porcelain doll Emily had secretly desired, but an older, more unsettling toy. Its skin was crafted from a pale, almost translucent material, and its eyes, 2 shimmering emerald orbs, seemed to follow her every move. The doll wore a dress of faded velvet, the color of dried blood, and clutched a porcelain rose in its tiny, stiff hand. Emily named the doll Lila. There was an undeniable allure to Lila, a strange magnetism that drew Emily in. At night, Emily would confide her deepest secrets to the doll, whispering her hopes and dreams into the silence of her room. But as the days turned into nights, Emily began to hear things. Soft murmurs, like the rustle of silk, seemed to emanate from Lila. At first, Emily dismissed them as her imagination, but the whispers grew stronger, more distinct. They spoke of forgotten things, of shadows and secrets, their tone both alluring and laced with an undercurrent of menace. Lila's presence was a constant in Emily's life now. Wherever Emily went, the doll's piercing green eyes seemed to follow, their gaze unwavering, unnerving. Emily noticed that the doll's position would sometimes change. She would leave Lila on her bed only to find it perched upon the window seat, its gaze fixed on the swaying branches outside. The rose clutched in Lila's hand, once a pale pink, began to darken, its petals turning a deep crimson as if stained with blood. A change came over Emily. Her once bright eyes, the color of a summer sky, turned dull and distant. She grew withdrawn, isolating herself further in the company of the doll. Her laughter, once a familiar melody in the old house, was replaced by an unsettling silence. Her parents, their faces etched with worry, watched helplessly as their daughter slipped further away from them, her spirit seemingly ensnared by the enigmatic doll. They tried to talk to her, to understand the change that had overtaken their daughter, but Emily would just stare at them with empty eyes, her lips curved into a chilling, vacant smile. Section 6. A growing unease. The atmosphere in the house grew thick with unease. The whispers that Emily heard seemed to permeate the very walls, weaving themselves into the fabric of their existence. Objects moved unexplained. Doors creaked open and slammed shut with no apparent cause. Emily's parents, their initial skepticism replaced by a growing sense of dread, began to fear that something sinister had entered their lives, something insidious and unknown. The doll, with its watchful eyes and blood-red rose, seemed to be at the center of it all, a malevolent presence that cast a long, dark shadow over their once peaceful home. Section 7. The empty room. One stormy night, as lightning flashed and thunder shook the old house to its core, Emily vanished. 1 minute she was there, lying in her bed, Lila propped up beside her. The next, she was gone. Her parents searched frantically, their hearts pounding in their chests, their voices hoarse with fear. But Emily was nowhere to be found. The only trace of their daughter was the doll, Lila, sitting on the empty bed, its green eyes gleaming in the darkness, a triumphant smirk twisting its painted lips. Section 8. New beginnings, familiar whispers. Years passed. The old house on the edge of Hollow Creek remained empty, a shell of forgotten memories and lingering fear. Then one day a young couple purchased the property, eager to breathe life back into its weary bones. Among their belongings was a box filled with forgotten toys, destined for the attic. As the last box was unloaded, the young woman stumbled upon a small, ornately carved chest tucked away in a corner. Inside, nestled in yellowed lace, lay a doll. It was a strange, unsettling doll with skin like alabaster and eyes that shimmered like emeralds. Section 9. Lila's Eyes. The woman, captivated by its eerie beauty, picked up the doll. As she gazed into its piercing green eyes, a chill ran down her spine. A whisper, barely audible, seemed to emanate from the doll's painted lips, a whisper that spoke of shadows and secrets. A whisper that sent shivers of unease through her soul. In the eerie silence of the old house, the doll's eyes seemed to gleam with a malevolent light, their emerald depths reflecting a darkness that had haunted the house for years, a darkness that was far from over. And as the sun began to set, casting long, eerie shadows across the room, the whispers grew louder, more insistent, their tone filled with an unspoken promise. The haunting tale of Emily and her doll was far from finished.